Now, something different. In every state and territory today, News Corp papers did, I think, an amazing job with Australia's drug crisis. Now, there's a real crisis for you, one that actually takes lives. We learnt that Australian drug users are paying some of the highest prices in the world, and it's fueling the international drug trade. According to a global drug study, Australia is using the equal highest amount of MDMA in the world. Now, some drugs sold at $30 per pill are being produced for just 30 cents. Christy, how do we ever keep up with that kind of business plan?
How do we? Well, we can't legalise it, can we? And make it safe and test them at festivals and allow everybody to say, come here, drug trade, we'll just keep buying them and keep paying for them. And I did see the stories interviewing some of the families that have lost their kids who've taken their so-called party drugs, and my heart absolutely goes out to them. But, you know, this is evidence here that there is an international drug trade criminal syndicates behind this. You know, these drugs aren't cooked up by the ladies of the CWA. You know, they are hardened criminals importing them into the country. And I was surprised to read that Australia has the second highest drug price in the world out of these 35 countries that were surveyed in this global drug survey, second only to New Zealand. So it's our side of the world.
Can you work out, Darren, why these two glaring statistics are like they are? The fact that we are paying more for our drugs, which is, I don't care anyway, but secondly, we're taking them, I think it works out an average of once a month.
Look, I think the price is driven by distance. And we don't have land borders, so it has to come into the country. I suspect a lot of the amphetamines are produced domestically, but I think, obviously stuff like cocaine and heroin, I doubt have grown in Australia. It's not my area of expertise.
Yes, okay. South America or even Asia, sure.
If you're in a country in Europe, things can be taken over land, or in the US, you're pretty close to where cocaine is produced in the first place. So, but part of it is that, frankly, we're a wealthy country, and I think it's just simple market economics. It's just not an area that we'd love to talk about, but they would look at Australia and say, people are pretty wealthy, they can pay this amount, and if people will pay it, they'll take the profit. If
we watch the topics that are raised in Question Time this coming week, Craig Kelly, I bet you the drug crisis is not raised, and we've got to consider how many lives it takes in reference to what we're talking about, the disadvantages of climate change, the disadvantages of all the drought, the bushfires, etc., etc. This claims more lives than all of those combined.
Well, Chris, I wouldn't actually bet on that. I think one of the Dorothy Dixes we ask ourselves this week may be around that very successful drug haul that was made. But look, we're doing very well on the supply side. You know, we've got police, law enforcement officials, because I think we've got to focus more on the demand side. Maybe we would need to look at government running an advertising campaign advising young kids how dangerous these drugs are actually to their health. And this is why I'm really concerned with this so-called pill testing discussion that's been going on, because it gives the message to kids that there's good ones, good batches and bad batches. And yes, go and get it tested, you can have a good batch, that one's fine. The message we've got to get through is every batch is a bad batch. And when you take these substances, they are illegal because they are potentially going to kill you. And that's, I think, a message. If we can somehow or other get some government advertising together, I think that's the area that we need to be worked on hard to try and push that demand side down of the equation. OK, all right. Let's hope that Dorothy Dixer is asked and that we can do something about saving people's lives.